Hi, my name is Chantal Fraser. I'm the CEO and founder of Draco Data Sciences. We're really excited to introduce you to our geospatial solutions. And today I just wanted to take some time to share with you some of the amazing solutions we've been able to take to market. Through our partnerships with a team of GIS, spatial and actuarial experts, we have been able to take to market solutions that really solve big business problems quicker than ever before. To give you some background, there are around 15 million buildings in South Africa, which include formal and informal areas. Informal areas would be your deep rural areas. And currently, many businesses struggle with address matching or geolocating their customers because it's only the formal buildings that have a physical address, as you would find in the deeds data today. So our team has been able to capture an address for every single building in South Africa by assigning a map code that will take you to the physical location if you plugged it into a GPS. So this means that you can now accurately geolocate your customers and reach them as you have a physical location to arrive at. This has enabled our clients to accurately FICA new customers, trace debtors, and send field workers out to your customers' locations. There's so many applications for geospatial analytics today. And an example, or a few examples, would be if we look at real estate. A fundamental purpose of real estate market analysis is to quantify the relationship between supply and demand for a given property type in a local market. So using our geospatial platform, it gives you a powerful tool to store and manipulate large amounts of information on spatial relationships between supply and demand. Another application would be area growth identification. So one key decision parameter for many executives is how a location has changed over a period of time. This may include identifying the number of houses that have come up in the area, possibly the change in cultivated land cover, new roads, highways, and this information can be used to identify areas with growth potential for real estate developers and even retailers when it comes to store planning. Another application would be identifying locations. So finding the right location for your next store or your ATM or your real estate assets or even a warehouse is more or less a market research activity currently. However, it is imperative that the right location for your next asset is viewed from a geospatial perspective because it can have such a huge impact on your top line. So geospatial analysis can help you better estimate the population around an area. So using remote sensing techniques on top of geospatial data, we can put you in a position where you can estimate the population density around locations. And combining this with mapping things like competitors, your competitors, we can provide you with important points of interest that will identify strategic locations. From an agricultural perspective, geospatial solutions will give you the ability to identify critical areas that require intervention to control the spread of any diseases. From a market segmentation perspective, segmenting customers geographically and forecasting the demand for your services will give you a good idea of where your growth is likely to occur. So off the back of this, you can position your advertisements and target demographics and identify areas that are worthy of expansion, and determine or have a really good idea of the size of your potential market. So taking that a step forward is that imagine overlaying your customer buying data so that you can correlate unthinkable variables like weather and location and how these kind of variables impact buying behaviors. From a safety and security perspective, imagine being able to respond to crimes using data-driven approaches. Emergency calls are another example. Every single emergency call starts with a location and ends with a location. So using our geospatial solutions, it would position you to be able to dispatch emergency services to precise locations. Other uses for our geospatial platforms have been reviewing delivery routes, so ensuring that your parcels arrive at a specific address and the right address. Insurers, are very focused on understanding the replacement value of a building, so to speak, and understanding more about replacement values and risk factors. It enables insurers to apply the right kind of premium to the right property that's being insured. So what I'm going to do is, if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen with you and just give you a feel of what our geospatial platform looks like. So let's jump in there quickly. Right, so if we have a look at the platform itself, first off the cuff, I'd like to just demonstrate to you. Let's have an example and say that I wanted to identify new to my business prospects around a particular area or particular store itself. So it's as simple as uploading a file that's going to contain your address location for each of your stores. So in this case, what I'm going to do is we are going to upload a file. All right, so what you're seeing here is we're seeing a map. It remembers where I was last. What we're going to do is we're going to upload a simple file that contains some areas. So we have now, let's have a look here quickly. Let's find our file. And we're simply going to upload some of our areas. So once I've done that, in the actual KML file that I've uploaded, there are 3 specific areas that are in my data file itself. So let's make the assumption that I would like to understand what the market size is in Bryanston. So the moment I make my selection, you will notice that the suburb is highlighted on the map itself. And by simply hitting the export button, it now takes me to a screen where you can start assessing your data layers. In this case, I'm only assessing or identifying data using age categories. So in this example, I want to identify how big my market is for people between the ages of 31 and 40. So by making that selection and hitting the next button, it tells me literally in just over a second that there are 1,094 unique property owners within this geolocated area. So as simple as that would it be for you to export a database of your new to business prospects using our geospatial tool. Now, another example would be if you wanted to upload a CSV file. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a file that contains some shopping centers. And the moment I do that, you will notice that the pins that are displayed on the map give you an overview of different malls. So if I wanted to go and have a look at, let's say, Clearwater Mall as an example, you will see that by default it tells me that I'm looking at a 2-kilometer radius. So what I actually want to do is I want to extend this to a 5-kilometer radius. And essentially what the map does is just automatically expand that area. So once you've done that exercise, it's as easy as hitting the export button, attaching any segmentation you'd like to, and again, it will tell you that within that radius, a 1-kilometer radius of Clearwater Mall, there are 613 unique homeowners that could potentially be new to business prospects. So that's one of the solutions that the geospatial platform provides. Another example would be taking a look at our, let's have a look here quickly, the property valuations. So in this instance, if you want to do a property valuation, it would be as simple as typing in an address. We then identify the property, and essentially what happens is we're going to then fetch our property valuation report, and as you will see, it gives you an estimated valuation, and as we scroll down, it's going to give you the current deeds information when it transferred, and we add on other attributes like distances, historical sales, and weather, demographic information, gender distribution, etc. So all of this is available within the platform. Now I'm demoing this to you on the front end, and please understand that all these solutions are available for you to consume via web services. Right, so let's have a look at what we've done over here. From an addressing perspective, I mentioned earlier that it's only your formal buildings that have a physical address assigned. So using our map code lookup, I have the ability to go and upload a picture. So if I want to go and upload a picture over here of a property, right, so let's just go over here and find a picture. So in this instance, I'm just going to select a picture of a property, which would not be what is considered a formal building. And let's hit the upload button. Now, how this would work practically is, in this example, I'm demonstrating the solution on a front end for you, but by using a simple taking a photo off your mobile device, you will notice that this is where the photograph was taken, all right, of this particular property, all right? And when you click on the property itself, it then accesses all the intelligence that is linked to the center point of this specific property. So by taking a picture, in 3 seconds, you would have the ability to identify the current owner, and if you want to go that far, is extract a property valuation. So those are just some of the solutions that are available for you to use. Now, what happens is from an artificial intelligence perspective, when we are working with property valuations, so to speak, we capture the 3D size of the house, and it's done by various techniques like LiDAR, or also referred to as point of cloud data. Now, AI essentially enables us to automatically digitize the outline of the house and determines the size of the house by combining the aerial photograph and using the 3D LiDAR points to determine a valuation at a square meterage level. So I'm hoping that by sharing the screen with you and giving you a couple of examples of the power that geospatial data introduces, that we get your mind thinking about application. So if you have any ideas or problems you're trying to solve around addressing, identifying client markets, location, analysis, please reach out to us at Dracor, and we'll be happy to set up some time to discuss your requirements. So I hope you are excited as we are, and look forward to meeting you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.